Hello, everyone. Yes, I decided I wanted to hop on and talk to y'all a little bit about Dunamis Day or Dunamis Days in Atlanta, Georgia, September the 29th and the 30th, as well as the House of Life Imperial Embassy. There's a lot that I've been working on over the past few months. That's why I've been uploading a whole lot less. I've been doing a lot of hands on, boots on the ground work. So, yeah. So, I'll start out by talking to you about Dunamis Days because that's probably the easier one. Because we recently did Dunamis Day this past, I believe it was April. This past April in Houston, Texas. It was one day of supernatural impartation, activation, demonstration. The people that came got to see a lot of stuff in person. People got to see some people were healed while they were in the meeting. It was a lot. We benefited from a lot. It was an amazing time, to say the least. I actually still have the knee brace of someone who took their own knee brace off at Dunamis Day. I have a few people I'm hearing testimonies about. There was one lady, she was telling me just recently that she came to Dunamis Day, and you can see it on the footage. Her knee was swollen and wrapped up. She hasn't had a problem with her knee since. So we got to have some fun. I love actually doing the work. Talking is fun, teaching is great, revelating is amazing, but there's something in demonstration that I think needs to be emphasized a whole lot more. So we're going to be doing a lot of the same things in Atlanta. So if you need healing, this is a good time to show up. um, if you want to learn how to move in the supernatural yourself, this is a good time to show up. You want to experience the supernatural up close and personal, this is a good time to show up. So, because we're doing 2 days instead of one, yes, there'll be a little bit of teaching, a little bit of lecturing, but for the most part, we're going to prioritize the moves of the Spirit. So, it's going to be prayer, meditation, impartation, healing, demonstration, activation. Activation is me bringing you through certain processes and training so that you can move in some of this stuff yourself after you leave. Because I don't do Dunamis Day just to prove that I can move in power. I think my record has already proved that. No, no, no. I do Dunamis Day to inspire people up close and give you tools and keys necessary to move in the same graces. Me healing the sick is great. You doing it is where I get excited. Me with the ability to prophesy, that's fun. I want to hear you prophesy. And that's really what we're moving into. So if any of that speaks to you, you want to come in person, you want to experience the supernatural in person, you want to see miracles, signs, wonders, Dunamis Days is a great event for you. Registration is on the website. It is schooloftheempire.com. This is the main website where you can find the registration link. It is through Eventbrite. You only need one ticket per person. One ticket is for both days. It's only $100. And kids don't need a ticket. And by kids, I don't mean like almost adult. I mean like kids. Once they get into the teens, yeah, that's an adult. But but kids, for the most part, no, you don't need a ticket. And that's going to be that. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all. People have already started registering. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in person. Now, the other thing that I want to talk to y'all about just a little bit is the House of Life Imperial Embassy. Now, this is the main project that I've been working on. And this is our in-person work. This is our facility that we have in Kahawasakari. This is in Kenya, just on the outskirts of Nairobi. Bungoma Road, Bungoma Close. This is where we're at. We're starting off with just 3 days a week. Eventually, the goal is to have this open every day. So here it is. The House of Life Imperial Embassy. This is our facility. This is not a church. If you come, don't come expecting usual church service. This is not going to happen here. I grew up and I've been in a lot of circles. I've been in a lot of meetings. I've been in a lot of gatherings. And I won't say everything was bad, but there was a lot that I did not like. So, the House of Life Imperial Embassy is a space for equipping sons and benefiting humanity. The goal is to eventually be able to provide healing and deliverance every day, as well as feeding the community every day, providing a safe place for prayer and meditation every day, as well as a library, amongst other things. We're going to have classes, trainings, all of that stuff. The main goal is to have a space where the supernatural is actually prioritized. I've been in a lot of meetings. Let's talk about that for a moment. Let's talk about some of my church experiences. I've been in several meetings where power was actually moving. Spirit was flowing. People were starting to tap into what they needed to get their next breakthrough. And the leader of the movement shut all that down so that they could preach or teach. They're picking people up off the floor, snapping them out of whatever trance they're in, because it's time to hear this sermon. I hated that. So I don't do that at my own facility. I've heard stories of people like Smith Wigglesworth, where they would lay hands on people and do impartation, and the people would go out for days. I've built a facility where this is actually going to be a safe place for people to do that, where there's no rush to get you off the floor. There's no rush to get you to participate in the next thing. It's entirely centered around you growing up in your spiritual development. So that is pretty much what we're doing. So right now, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 3 to 9 p.m., we're just gathering. Right now, it's mainly prayer, meditation, and group discussion, where I wanted to have a safe place for people who are ready to move beyond the surface level stuff, to have a safe place to talk about that stuff. Because I've been around a lot of circles. Usually, once you start talking about certain veins of the supernatural, certain encounters, certain experiences, a lot of leaders will say, well, I know it's legit, but I have people who aren't ready for that yet. So I'm not catering to the people that aren't ready. I'm catering to the people that are ready. That's one of the other pet peeves I had with church culture, is that it doesn't prioritize the people that are ready to move on to something else. Your evolution in that is that instead of going from the person who doesn't know everything or know anything, the person who isn't ready yet, once you mature, you don't get to move into greater things. No, your new job is now to teach the people who aren't ready yet, because it's catered around the people who aren't ready yet. So we spend our times pretty much having adult daycares instead of cultivating sons to move on, rule and reign, and move in their identity. I don't like it, therefore I don't do it. Now let's talk about some of what we've been experiencing just a few weeks that the Imperial Embassy has been open. Every week when we've done our our healer class, because I'm training healers to be there every day. Every week when we've done our healing class, gold and silver dust has covered all the students, flooded the rooms. That's happened every week. People have already started having face-to-face encounters and seeing the royal family, angels, and saints and stuff walk around the rooms, walk around outside. This is unprompted by me telling them such and such is over there. Do you see it? No, 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 no. I don't like the placebo stuff. So I just cultivated a space where heaven feels safe to be around, and people that come get to experience that. So I had people ask me, hey, there was this guy outside. Hey, I saw something moving over there. I saw what looked like a woman walk by. Did you see that? And this is without any prompting, because I took it serious when I said that I was cultivating a heaven on earth. I spend most of my time making sure that the space is in a state where angels and all types of other stuff feels comfortable. It's hospitality for a higher realm, hospitality for a higher reality. So people are already experiencing this heaven on earth situation at the embassy. It's only going to get better. Pretty soon, we're going to have a bunch of 24-hour prayer sessions, because the goal isn't to have services. It's not always going to be me teaching or Apostle Wasanga teaching. I'm going to introduce the rest of the team, the council, pretty soon, because I'm not running this solo. Yes, I'm the visionary of the project. Yes, I'm running a lot. Yes, I paid for almost all of it. But no, I'm not running this solo. That's one of the other things I didn't like about church culture, is that it prioritized the man or woman of God and maybe the few people that were closer to them instead of the masses. I want to prioritize the masses. I'm very serious about working myself out of these jobs. I don't want to be the number one contact when people need healing. Therefore, I train healers. I don't want to be, I don't want you to only be able to move in the spirit when I'm around. I want to give you a space where you can train on your own without interruption. Being in a community of people who are also serious and moving in the same direction. So that's the group that I'm trying to attract. I'm not trying to get all of Kenya to stuff itself into my facility. If it happens, fine, but my goal isn't popularity. My goal is results. I'm trying to cultivate a people that can handle their own in the spirit, that can move in wonders, that know their identity and can go out and do great things. I have other stuff I want to focus on, but so that doesn't happen if I'm spending all my time doing services, at least the way that most people think of services. 3 fast songs, 3 slow songs, a prayer at the beginning, prayer at the end, prayer in the middle, a sermon, and then a general prayer. It's not going to happen. I got tired of us studying the Azusa Street Revival and knowing that William Seymour got that manifestation by hosting a prayer meeting and then none of us hosting prayer meetings. So instead of just disagreeing with it, I started to do the thing I wish was being done. We have prayer like every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is why we're seeing what we're seeing. It's one thing to study revival. It's another thing to implement it. It's one thing to say we want a culture of revival. We want a culture where heaven invades the. It's great to preach it. I prefer to see it. That's been my thing since I started. This is great stuff to read. This is great stuff to talk about. I want to see it. I want to do it. I'm daring enough to believe that I should experience this stuff. So now I've cultivated a space where other people can see it. So if you're in the Nairobi area, if you're in Kahawa Sakari, or you're willing to travel, come see us. The facility works with or without me being there, because right now I'm getting ready to go to India before I see y'all in Atlanta, Georgia. So the facility's still going to be open. You can come and benefit without me. That's part of the culture. Leaders should be able to disappear and the work still goes. Your spiritual growth shouldn't be dependent on my activity. I should be able to teach, drop keys, and then disappear, and you still keep moving forward until I drop more. So we're having fun out here. So let's see. See some of you asking questions. Let's see. Why is Dunamis Day Atlanta held over 2 days? Because 2 days was available. I'll actually tell y'all a little bit more about why I chose that specific time. But why is it scheduled in the middle of the week? Because I have another event I'm speaking at that next weekend. So there's 2 events, right? There's the Ultimate Entrepreneur Seminar with Charmaine Stevens. Me and my wife are going to be speaking at that. I believe that next weekend. And that's a business seminar. Yes, I'm a mystic. Yes, I'm a spiritual leader. We're there for business. So if you want to learn more about business, grow your business, and all those other things, you come in for the economy stuff, show up to that one. I figured since I'm in the area, I have a lot of people that I know that are in Atlanta, or at least in the surrounding areas. This would be a good time to meet y'all. Pop in, do some miracles, and leave. I can't do it after because then I'm going to a wedding in another state. So I considered y'all while I was in the region. That's more so why. And then the next question I see is, are you planning on doing Dunamis days outside of the US, specifically the UK? I'm hosting an event in the UK in November. I believe that's the 13th and 14th of November. We're going to start advertising for it as soon as I get a venue for it. So that's in the works. But yes, I will be in the UK this year. Next question I see is, since you've been hosting events like the one you'll be doing in Atlanta, have you ever seen someone receive or unlock a spiritual gift they didn't seem to have before attending? At Dunamis Day, Houston, Texas, a few months ago, I made everyone there prophesy. Most of them did it for the first time in their life. And almost all of them were accurate. I think I only heard one person not be able to get a prophecy out, but everyone else and most of the people there, that was their first time using that gift on purpose. Some of them at all. So yes, that's the benefit of Dunamis Day. Let's talk about the word dunamis briefly. Dunamis is the word used that means power when you're reading through the Bible. It means power. It comes from the same root as the word dynamite. So it deals with explosive, dramatic demonstrations of power that you can see, which is why I choose it. I don't want to leave you with something you have to guess about. I want to give you something you can see, something you can experience, something a bit more tangible that you can walk away with. Theories are great, but I'd rather show you something. I'd rather put you in an experience. Now, going back to this real quick, if you look at the bottom there, the bottom right corner, www.imperialembassy.org is the official website for the House of Life Imperial Embassy. Here you can find all the information for it going forward. There's a lot of work to be done here, but the website is working. The facility is here. We're going to do an official launch soon. And that'll come after I get done training the people who are going to be there every day. Because that's part of it. Don't want anyone getting burnt out. Not myself, not the other leaders, or even the healers. So training people so they can work on shifts. Showing a different culture here. Now, what I will say for those of you who are planning or who want to plan a trip out here, there are 3 main holidays that we're going to be celebrating. that you can always look forward to at the embassy: Passover, Pentecost, and Feast of Tabernacles. Feast of Tabernacles is coming up at the end of September and the beginning of October. I believe it stretches from the 24th of September to the 3rd of October. Feast of Tabernacles is important because this is Yeshua's birthday. Sorry, kids, Christmas has nothing to do with him. That's not his birthday. Feast of Tabernacles is. So whether it's this year or the years to come, I will always be hosting an event in celebration of Passover, Pentecost, and Feast of Tabernacles. Feast of Tabernacles is coming up next. So for those of you looking to pop into the embassy, see it in person, this is a good time to stop by. So those are the main things I wanted to cover today. There is, however, another course that is available on the shop. Let me pull it up. It just got done. Here we go. So y'all have begged me for the past 2 years for this Seers course, because a lot of you wanted to learn how to see in the spirit. And I understand myself that seeing is more than the stuff that you pick up on visually. It's a part of a whole system of metaphysical sensitivity. And that's really what the course is about. It's short, but I packed it full of a lot of information. I don't believe in fluff and filler. I like to give you the stuff that I know works, gives you the tools, and then you use it or you don't use it. So that's what I did here, teaching you how to see in the spirit, how to perceive the unseen, how to see the unseen, how to become more sensitive to what's happening around you in multiple planes of existence. This is what this course is all about. Now, as far as those of you who find yourself in what we call the fivefold functions, right now, there are currently 2 classes available on my website, School of the Prophets and School of the Evangelists. If you're called to either of those, your class is already ready. Apostles, teachers, and pastors, I'm planning to finish before I go to India at the end of this month. So if yours isn't here yet, it will be soon. And that is specific training to show you what your job is, how to do your job, and truthfully, a lot of the things that come with your calling. Eventually, there's going to be a lot more of those because there's people who aren't called to any of those that are still called to do something. I want you to understand your job so that way you can do it. Yes, we can go through the mentorship of making sure you're a good person while you're in your calling, but I want you to know what it is and how to do it first and foremost. We have time to work on your character. So if that's something you're looking for, mentorship and training based on your specific calling, this is available and becoming more available. Another resource that's available on my website, and this is free. Y'all like that? Another thing that's free is, let me pull it up. All right, here we go. Spiritual warfare and deliverance. This was originally a course that I did this last year. I want to say I did it in October of last year. It was free. And previously, this was available for free also on my Patreon. I made it more accessible by putting it on my website. So it's the same footage, just in an easier to reach spot. But this is free, teaching you the laws of spiritual warfare, defining what is witchcraft, what are demons, how do I cast out demons, how do I make sure my life is demon proof, How do you break curses, spells, witchcraft? How do you deal with spiritual offense and defense? I cover all of that in my course. Now, the main thing that I've been hearing from people, specifically the ones who've taken School of the Evangelists and Schools of the Prophets, is that they say it feels like I knew them already, that I must have been following them around with a camera because of how well it fit their own life. That I described why they were the way that they are and why they do the things that they do and why they had certain experiences, why they struggle with certain things. It all comes down to the wiring. I see a question I like. It says, what does it mean to be called to the fivefold? Or so I've been told. That's just a modern branding for apostle, prophet, teacher, evangelist, and pastor, meaning that you fall under one of those categories. Those five are usually lumped together because those are the five that are called ascension gifts. Those are the things Yeshua gave mid-ascension. He said, I'm leaving, so I'm leaving you with these five to help maintain order and structure in this governmental assembly that I'm leaving you with. So there are plenty of ways for you to plug in to Cave of Mystery. Of course, all the information can be found on my website, caveofmystery.org. Let's see, does this free course cover protection while sleeping? If you implement what I teach, you'll find your protection. I cover offense and defense. Matter of fact, I had a few people who were dealing with attacks in their sleep that took my course because deliverance is a tricky science. That's why it's called warfare. It's a very tricky science. So it's not really a cookie cutter thing you can send someone to. So instead, I gave all the keys necessary. You fit the nuances where they fit. I've had several people who were dealing with attacks in their dreams before they took the course, took it, and then regained power in their life. What used to oppress them and take advantage of them now runs from them. So the way that I do all my courses is that I put most of the power back in your hands. You've got to do the work. So if you follow my instructions, you get my results. I like to make it that way. Who wants to take a course and then you may or may not benefit from it? I don't like that. And that was an issue I ran into when I used to take courses, that I spend $400 for a course and man, this stuff was on YouTube. I'm like, they didn't say anything other than what Google said. So I've had my fair share of taking courses that felt like a waste of time. That's why I make sure not to release them. All right. It's probably the only question I'll answer along this line. But if we have angels and spiritual guides, why don't they intervene on their own to protect or save us in situations like this? Angels have jobs. So their presence doesn't mean that they have jobs in that area. All angels aren't meant to protect or to fight. Some of them are there for different reasons and will watch you suffer because it's not their job. Angels are very specific to the task that they are given. And in other cases, they do. And since they do, we never say thank you. Or they're specifically assigned to specific interactions. You know, making sure you stay alive, but the other stuff isn't their business. Angels are specific. Might do a course on angels later, but I did a video on angels on YouTube. Y'all, that is pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about. Just to let you know about Dunamis Days, Atlanta, Georgia. I will see those of you who are able to make it because I found out I was doing Dunamis Day a few days ago. When y'all saw the first flyer, that's the same day I found out that I was doing that. Also, there is another course coming up soon, but it's not hosted by me. I'm just a teacher in someone else's course. So that information is going to be coming out soon for how y'all can register for that. It's pretty much a course on understanding the Bible and Christianity, going over the history of both, the mechanics of both, going through the narratives. And this isn't just for Christians, it's for people who just want to understand it. Maybe you want to understand the Bible and Christianity because you hate it and you want to go bother Christians. That's y'all's business. I'm just walking you through it so you know what you're looking at. So if that interests you, stay tuned. Information about that is coming out. Again, I'm just a teacher. Someone else is hosting it. They hired me as a teacher. So be on the lookout. As usual, you can find everything related to me and what I'm working on via my website, caveofmystery.org, and specifically for the embassy, imperialembassy.org. If you're in Nairobi or around Kahawasakari in Kenya, come see us. If you're looking for real spiritual growth, breakthrough, and development. If you're looking for church, go to church. And that is all I will leave y'all with. Y'all take care. Y'all be blessed. Until next time. Later.